Well, being in our last year, everybody's real focused, with Brandon and Max and the seniors being focused. And we have our goals that we need to be set for championships. Sackett's, we're kind of expected to win, and we expect ourselves to win championships and even a sectional title.
And number 21, Garrett Loomis.
Dogs. Sackett's answers. Garrett Loomis drives and dishes to Matt Gray for the bucket. Loomis connects on the baseline jumper as we go to the scoreboard.
First round of the Section 3 playoffs. Sackett's Harbor appears loaded this season to graduation.
We have a really balanced team. We've
Garrett Loomis shows off the move strong to the hoop and gets the two. Panthers still
fight. Belleville Henderson, Garrett Loomis down low for two. Loomis with the penetration and a top shot off the glass.
I have so many fond memories of Garrett, but his smile is what always comes to mind first. I swear it could brighten up the darkest of hearts. The world was a better place for it. When Sonia called to tell me that Garrett had lost his life doing what he loved, I immediately thought how very, very wrong it was to lose someone so special. How very, very wrong it was that the world would no longer see that smile. When I was getting ready for school in the fall, I was going through boxes of stuff to decide what I wanted to put out in my room. I opened a box, and there it was, that smile. It was a framed collage the class gave me when they graduated. Garrett was hugging Becky, and life was good. It is on my desk now, where it will stay. My younger students will look at it, and I say, see that young man right there? That is Garrett Loomis. Let me tell you about Garrett. And the world is once again a better place, and Garrett will live on.
My father, and most adults from his generation, says that he vividly remembers where he was and what he was doing when he heard the news that President Kennedy had been shot. That the impact of that tragic news was so powerful that he knew life would be different. I will forever remember where I was and what I was doing when I heard the news that Garrett was killed. And the impact of his death has made my life different. Garrett and I were pretty close. He spent a lot of time in my room joking around or talking about his love life. And our connection after graduation continued, because once Garrett made you a part of his life, you were part of his life forever. That was just his way. Every time we ran into each other, he would flash that sincere smile and embrace me in a bear hug. He loved people very easily. Sometimes an overwhelming sadness comes over me when I think about how much I miss Garrett, but most of the time, I think about how much he made me laugh, how obsessed he was with my now infamous blue classroom couch.
I was fortunate enough to have Garrett in the classroom and on my varsity basketball team, and then later in life as a friend. In the classroom, he was hardworking, something every teacher admires. He was also got along well with his classmates and was an excellent student. He made himself into a great basketball player by his hard work and his ethic. He was elected team captain his senior year and helped lead the team to 16 wins in a row, which is a league school record. Also, we won the league championship, playoff championship, and Garrett helped carry us to the sectional finals that year. Garrett was a great person as a leader. The team really looked up to him. He was totally selfless, never put himself ahead of the team, and was a great leader for the team. As a young adult, I also got to know Garrett better as a friend. Whenever you saw Garrett on the street, he always had that smile and that twinkle in his eye, and I never saw him down. He always stuck his hand out and say, hello, Mr. Bridge, or had a hard time getting him to say Charlie, but stick his hand out and say that. Garrett had the kind of characteristics that all of us should
Just watching his face every day. He came in and cracks every day with a smile on his face and ready to go. He worked hard in the goal. He was our leader out there in the back on defense. Kept our defense active and all that. Talked to him. He was a pretty outstanding young man.
He was very athletic. He knew what he was doing. He was passionate about everything that he was doing. He really wanted to win, obviously, all the time. Very competitive guy.
For one, you know, people listened to him. Knew what he was talking about. He was very smart. You know, so when he had ideas and he wanted to lead, it was just easy for him to take over and just follow along, because you knew you were getting taken to the right path.
After he finished New York Academy, he got hired down to Virginia. And then a couple years later, he came up and joined us at Fort Drum. And it was just to seem like there's a strange life cycle that went around with me and the Loomis family, as I started the fire service with his father and worked for him with Fort Drum, and then comes around that Garrett's working for me and with me at the Fort Drum Fire Department. So it's a great impact on my life with Garrett and Gary and Amy and Brian. So it was a great experience to know Garrett. And, sure do miss that smile he always had for us. And the one term he always used in the fire service was "copy that."
You know, I think Garrett's impact on this school, especially athletically, at the time that he was playing, just was the type of character that he showed. Obviously, he had great ability in all three sports. I mean, he wasn't an all-state player by any means, but an all-star in various sports. But it more was his character and his leadership skills. He had a way to get people enthusiastic and get excited about playing sports and leading people, not by yelling at them or telling them how to do things, but by showing them the way and offering some encouragement along the way as well. I know his legacy will live on in me because since the tragic events when Garrett passed, I know I'm trying to live my life a lot of the ways that I know he would have lived his, and part of that is the way I coach and the way I try to teach the kids how they should live their life. So I know Garrett's his legacy, his memory lives on in the way that I'm going to try to teach my kids on how to be men, because Garrett was one of the finest men I know.
The one quote that's resonated with me over the course of the past few months is that success is a journey, not a destination. And what I think a lot of people in general take sometimes life for granted, the fact that we're so worried about where we want to be and how we're going to get there, and forgetting that the journey is the most important piece in that. I think for Garrett, his journey certainly brought him back home. This is where he was going to be successful, where he had seen previous success as a student, as a person in the community. And he knew this is where he wanted to be, this is where he was going to find that success in his life. And I think he fulfilled it once he came back home. He was doing exactly what he wanted to do, he was where he wanted to be. And I hope we all take a look back at that and see the steps he took to get there, how successful he was, what was his journey like, and that we appreciate the steps that it takes for each of us to be successful on that journey. The destination, all of us, I think, in this community, being as tight-knit as it is, are going to be successful. But let's not forget the days, the relationships, the commitments that we have, and the efforts that we make in order to get there. Garrett was a tremendous example of that. So I hope that on our journey to success, we take those opportunities to really cherish the moments that we have and make sure nothing is compromised.